Oh yeah.
I was
Let's talk
listening to
about that.
that. I was listening to that, and I have my own personal stuff, not exactly in the same realm, but my area where I was like I was way too young and was like in my own mind at least forced to like, nah, this is my adult moment now. And so one, if you don't mind, if you would sort of go over what you're comfortable talking about in that story, and then I'll sort of poke at it a little
I'm
bit.
comfortable. I'm comfortable with the story. I might lose my composure. If I do this, I need to stop.
You're good.
Um,
Absolutely.
but I will attempt it. So I actually forget the exact age, which is cool, actually. So I forget if this is going into my 10th birthday or my 12th birthday. I remember it being an even number. I remember we were going bowling, and Little RM was a nerd, and Little RM loved bowling. I don't think Sylph was actually conscious for this. This might be her first time hearing this story. So you might want to sit down. So my mom got a headache one day. Keep in mind, like it's near my birthday, and the headache didn't go away. And then 3 days later, she's in the hospital, and she's got a brain aneurysm, and things are not looking good. The doctors give her a 3% chance to live, and if she lives, she will be paralyzed on one of her sides. I forget what side. So I can't really explain quickly how destitute we were, but losing. Okay, well, whichever. That's a really low chance. And left side. Yeah, 10% not to be on the 3%. So, anyway, very low chance of survival. I remember 3% being it. Anyway, like this is burned in. I don't know what you were told, Sylph, but I was told 3. So, basically, it's not looking good. And oh, okay, 3% to live, and if she lives, 10% to not be paralyzed on the left is what I meant. Okay, cool. Okay, that's how I remember it. So, losing either parent at this point, like losing either of their incomes, is like a death sentence, like for the family. So, I didn't know how serious it was yet. Dad loads me up in the his truck, some 1970-something Dodge, and we go to the hospital. And on the way to the hospital, completely unprompted, he's like, "You're probably wondering why I brought you to see mom at the hospital and none of your other siblings." And he goes, "That's because you're old enough to remember your mother, and I want you to be able to say goodbye." So on the way to the hospital, I'm like, okay, if mom dies, school is over, I'm dropping out, I am watching the house. That way my siblings will have a chance to get through school and make something of themselves. I will take care of the house stuff so dad can keep working. That's the only way this is going to work. And I get there, and she looks like Borg. Like, she's got like tubes all in her head. That's when it hits, oh, she's going to die. So I say goodbye to my mother, and I go back home, and she lives, which was, as Plaus put it, existential whiplash. It caused problems. There was about three heavy years of me just fighting with my mother as much as I could, because to me, somebody different walked back home out of that hospital. And then I eventually buried that hatchet before I moved out. But that's that whole process, those 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 6 weeks, happened over my birthday. That's when I stopped celebrating my birthdays, and also when I stopped singing in public, until I found that one community.
That one community. That, I don't think people who haven't experienced something like that fully understand the feeling
I made
of,
it. I got all the way through it.
yeah, yeah, it's rough. But like that feeling of, no, there is, like, obviously you want to say like, I'm super happy you survived all of that, but there's like, I already came to grips with and made peace in my head that you were dead.
Yep.
And so, like, I'm already in that mental space of, all right, life is going to be different. I need to change everything, all of that. And now I can't just, like, oh, cool, snap and rewire my brain to that's not how it's going to be. Because
Yeah.
that is such a
Fortunately,
serious thing to, like, accept and work at, that it is not just a go back to normal thing.
Yep. And after that, after that hospital ride, back to the bucket. Oh, I never
Yeah.
complained about the bucket again.
I don't know. That was...
Actually,
Go ahead.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure I really complained about the bucket all that much.
It
My
was
oldest
just
brother
life.
had, yeah, my oldest brother had his turns on the bucket, but he didn't have to do it for nearly as long. Obviously, the daughters never had to do it. Also, Sylph, the reason you were never taken to the hospital was specifically because of what my dad said. He was gambling that if mom died, you just wouldn't remember and you wouldn't have to carry that trauma with you. I'm pretty sure that was a really tough decision to make, being a father and all.
Yeah.
Like, he was trying to protect you from something you might not need to know.
That
Like,
is a very difficult thing when dealing with children, is the fight
I've
between...
actually dealt with that myself.
I know that my parents did. I had a brother who had harlequin ichthyosis, and
Yeah.
he did not survive very long. And it was a fight because, like, it isn't pretty. It's not like they have any pictures of a normal-looking baby. And
No.
they had to make the decision to not show any of us our brother. And that led to, especially in younger years, a lot of like, okay, why the fuck can't we see it? That's awful. Why would you hide that from us? And then growing up and being like, especially as a parent, I can really understand. It couldn't have been an easy decision, but like, I understand why you didn't. Especially for the fact that, like,
Well,
it wouldn't have
yeah,
been good.
Sylph, what, you were what, 2? Like, 2 or 3? 4 at the most? Somewhere around there. So yeah, of course, because I've had to make this decision too, and it wasn't about a family member, but like a close friend. I had a buddy, and I was broken at this point. Like, Sylph knows what I'm talking about, but like, I was like physically broken at this point. Like, my back is screwing up in ways that like leave me unable to do normal activities. Yeah, I think it was 96. Anyway, so I'm down several miles into this hiking trail with my buddy and my oldest, who at the time is not even 2 years old yet, maybe. And it starts raining on us. Like, we're 2 miles into this trail, it starts raining on us, and we're walking back, and little buddy just can't handle it. He just basically can't walk anymore.
Yeah.
I try to pick him up and like have him right on my shoulders and stuff. That's not happening. I'm like, oh fuck. So my friend does it, and he carries him all the way back to the car so that we could leave the park that we were getting rained on. And a month later, close to Christmas, he was dead. That was the last time I had seen him.
Yeah.
And my oldest doesn't remember him at all.
Since we're obviously in the more serious part of it, I recently had... I call it emotional constipation, where like there's obviously one specific...
Emotional constipation.
No, where it's like there's one specific trigger, but like you aren't ready to face that, so you're just sort of irritable and sort of shitty about everything because you're not ready to talk about that one thing.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
And I finally got
Been
to
there.
talk about it with my parents. As you know, especially from the previous community, my brother passed away 2.5 years ago. And I had been having that realization that my daughter wasn't going to get to meet him.
Yeah.
And all the other kids had. And I did not realize how heavy that was sitting on me until I said it, and then it was like, oh gosh.
Oh yeah, that hits.
Yeah.
That hits.
And that's sort of what prompted my random midnight post of just like a memorial wall about my brother, was realizing that like I had been like, that was getting pent up and sort of just weighing on the shoulders for a while.
Oh yeah, that can take any strong guy to his knees immediately. Like, it's bad.
Yeah. But
so yeah, so that we started at the bucket and we started downsliding into like severe depression.
No, I mean, because there's just, And like with your story, there's a level
Take
of
that,
it that
depression.
take that depression, but there is that level of extra layer on it where you're a parent and you don't necessarily, there's not a handbook to it and how you approach certain things.
Nope.
The really random thing to pull out, but the Uvalde shooting.
Oh yeah. Like, how do you explain that?
My family lives there. I have family in
Ooh.
Uvalde, and my grandparents were up with us. They get a call from somebody who they know has a kid at that school,
Oh,
and
Jesus.
they are in the living room, and me and the kids are hanging out in a different room, and then we just hear like really picked up talking and crying, and so we go in there, and that is the first time my kids were ever exposed to the fact that, yeah, there's just some fucking people who will go and do stuff like that. And then they had that extra layer of connection because like those were kids that my grandparents went to church with or knew their families or stuff like that. And so there was that extra level of tie that like we had to be like, oh shit, I wasn't even ready to talk to them about sex yet, and now we're having to talk about school shootings. Like,
Right.
what the fuck do I do?
Yeah, that kind of reminds me. This is also something Sylph doesn't know. This is during Sylph's 8-month, not 8-month, 8-year absence. So you know how long ago this is now. The last time I actually ever bawled like a baby, it feels like it was more than a decade ago at this point. I was in the house that was prior to this one. And me and the wife, we have a TV in our room. We're just chilling out. We're watching Deadliest Catch. And like, Sylph has been like radio silent for a while at this point. And like, during the episode, some guy on some boat gets a call that his little sister is dying of cancer and the boat won't be able to make it back in time. And I just bawled my eyes out thinking about my sister for like, and that's actually the last time I have actually like cried. That must have been like a decade ago.
That is just always, it is harder when you have a tie to it. I've always been able.
My wife is like, I was pregnant again during this story. She's just like, yeah, I was pregnant all the time for all of these.
Yeah. I don't know. It is. I've always been a weirdly emotional person, and then you like if you're an emotional person in this world, that gets stomped out of you really quick, and you either get way too sad or you just get numb to things. But I remember getting in a fight with my mother when I was like 8 years old, because I realized every day when I left, I would say I love you, and she'd be like, see you when you get home. And one day I was about to leave for school, and I was like, I love you. And she's like, all right, see you when you get home. And it's just, it wasn't anything she was mean about, but I was like, what if you die today? Or what if what if the bus flips and you realize it has been over a year since you said you love me? And I just remember having that. She's like, I literally, it's not a me avoiding it. It's just not something that our family says all that much.
Yeah. That's a thing that reminds me of a saying that somebody that I used to be close to had. We don't get along, but he said something that I'm not great at, but I want to get better at, just specifically for that reason. And the saying was, never go to bed angry with your wife.
Mm-hmm.
And it's literally exactly that. Like, not perfect about that, but like, I get the logic and I want to get there.
Yeah, but, that is a very important one. I know that we've definitely had nights where we've stayed up till like 2 o'clock. It's like, I cannot go to bed until we have put this to bed and we are at an okay spot. So instead of not getting angry at bedtime, it sometimes turns into, no, we're going to stay up until 3 in the morning working this out, and then we'll go to bed.
Makeup sex is great.
Only time I got an I love you from my dad was when I went off to the military. That was something I realized when the family got together after my brother passed away, was my dad hugged me, and I was like, I think this is the like first time since I was like 6 years old that my dad hugged me and like cried. Like I was like, I've never seen my dad cry, and my dad has not hugged me in over 20 years.
Right. I'm like the opposite. Like I'm a lovey-dovey dad. I will tell all the kids I love them all the
Oh,
time. They get
absolutely.
hugs all
Yeah.
the time. Yeah.
I
The
end up playing both the roles of like I have to be the hard ass when someone has to do it, but also I
mhm.
know that it is like it is sometimes hard for them to believe because like okay, yes, you're going to be the hard ass for a second and then we'll do what you say and it'll get done and then you'll say thank you and we'll cuddle on the couch and watch TV.